Alright, tag back take like 7. I'm not really good at starting off videos, but welcome to Tag Back, the show where every week we take a look at another blaster from the past to see what it can offer us today in the present. And this time we're not looking at a Nerf blaster. We're not even really looking at something that came out all that long ago, but it has been discontinued, and it's interesting to me, and I haven't really had a chance to talk about BOOMco yet, so let's take a look at the BOOMco Stealth Ambush. A blaster I bought a long time ago, a little bit before I was kind of into the channel. I guess I kind of did something on the Rapid Madness, and I meant to do something on this, but I never did. Not that many of you care anyway, because you're more of like, everything has to be black and it's only fun when it hurts. But the Stealth Ambush is a really cool blaster. Doesn't have a trigger, so most of you can click off the video right there, but it is a cool blaster, and it's not as bad as some people might think, although it certainly has its problems. What is a BOOMco, though? That's a very good question you probably didn't ask. However, I feel the need to tell you anyway. This is a BOOMco, or a BOOMco Smart Stick Dart in this case. These are very, very nice. I have gone on record many times saying that BOOMco ammo is superior to the Nerf stuff in pretty much every single way, and I still stand by that remark. The only thing these things don't really do that well is be re-barreled, and that has stuff to do with the rubber tips on the end here. It's very, very light rubber, and it causes a lot of friction if you try to shoot it through a tube. It's not impossible, but it's difficult and usually not worth your time. Here's a foam dart though, and this is your standard BuzzBee long distance dart, and they're not terrible, but the main problem with foam darts are they get stepped on like once. I bend the dart like this. You never want to use this dart ever again. It's probably going to jam in your blaster. These don't do that. You can mash it up, you can do whatever you want with it. Take it, you can kind of stretch it out here, and we'll just take this clip, throw away that dart, put that dart in there, and yes, I said clip because these are in fact clips. Put that in there, and the way the Stealth Ambush works is pretty interesting. Think of it kind of like a big bad bow or a bow or a slingshot in general. You basically just pull it back like that, it primes the blaster, and you're ready to go. This thing's gonna kind of move freely, and it's going to shoot when the back grip here is pushed all the way forward, which means unlike a lot of other blasters, this has kind of a trigger. It's a weird trigger, but it kind of has one. It's not like the Twisted Spinner where you have to pull it back all the way and then it slips, or even like the Legend Fire. This actually does store a shot. It's storing energy. Why didn't it have a trigger? I have no idea, but when it comes to not having a trigger, this is one of the better blasters. But sure enough, if I push it forward, you would see right there that it just rocketed out of the barrel insanely well. This thing is no slouch. It hits like a truck. It's a very fun blaster. I use this a lot in Dart Wars. It was fun. It's rather compact, and I haven't even got to the best part about it yet. Not the fact that, you know, it's obviously clip fed. It can take up to a 40 dart BOOMco clip, but it has a gimmick. It has a special feature because it is called the Stealth Ambush. And you've probably figured out this big huge blue thing on top with some kind of knob at the back there, but the main thing here is that it has this kind of lever switch down here. So if I flip that down, it's unlocked, and if I prime it back and then push it forward, yeah, all of that sprays out. Now these wings right here are actually dart holders. They hold 3 darts each, but the main piece of the pie is this. Yeah, it's got like a shotgun on top of the Stealth Ambush, which would be really interesting if I could grab a dart. There we go. There we go. So we load it up. You prime that back. You got to be a little careful with it, since you pull it back too hard, it will just launch out everything. And now this time, instead of firing 1 dart, we fire 4. I love this kind of stuff because that's utility right there. It gives you something else the enemy might not be expecting, and shotgun effects like that are really good at tagging out one or multiple targets, especially if they're kind of hard to hit. I like that kind of stuff, and this blaster is pretty darn good. However, it does have a massive flaw. You could have this locked, like you would, and then you could prime it. It's being very good right now, but I've had earlier videos of this exact tag back trying to record it where it just wouldn't work. It would just spray out whenever it wanted to, and that's kind of an issue. And that was one of the reasons why I didn't pick up this blaster right when it came out. I think I saw a review on Reddit and somebody was just complaining about that left and right, which kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, understandably. And then, of course, I think it was Coop's video where he didn't really have an issue with it and actually gave it a somewhat positive review, which made me want to go on and buy one, and I did, and it's a pretty darn good blaster. Just like other BOOMcos, these can be modified by, you know, putting in a stronger spring and all that kind of stuff. It's not really anything different than what you would do with a Mad Slammer or a Far Shot or anything like that, but it can be modified. And then, of course, you can use a sniper clip with the holes filled in. This one's only halfway done, but this grants you about another 15 FPS just doing this simple modification right there. So this can be pretty war-worthy. Now, I do not have the shield that flips up on the top of it, but I do know this was one of the cooler shields because it had a push-button activation which would flip it out like that, and I actually think it was the best shield I had of any BOOMco blaster, but the shields are kind of useless. They're cool, but they're useless, so I always took them off. It's probably somewhere in the attachments bin, but oh well. The stealth ambush in BOOMco in general are really good, and it's a shame that they're kind of dying out. BOOMco has been pretty silent. The last thing they pushed out was the Halo MA5, and while mine had just some minor dart skipping problems, which everybody wanted to correct me and say, oh, that's normal, it's because you're burst firing, it's not meant to do that. Well, my Rapid Madness never had any of those issues. Well, like Derek, for instance, he's went through like 7 of them. They just break left and right. And he's actually had to ship them back to Mattel and everything, and a lot of other people have been having issues with the MA5, and that's the last thing that BOOMco put out, and that's one of the only things they've put out in 2016, unfortunately. So really all we have left right now is waiting for the whole, if they put out the Double Rush, which we've seen a review on, and that was months ago. They have a patent for a bolt-action sniper rifle that takes, you know, the BOOMco clips and has 2 plunger tubes or 2 springs or something crazy like that. That's all we've seen is a patent for it. Kind of disappointing. So for a lot of people, this isn't going to mean anything because you can't really get your hands on this blaster, or even if you can, it's going to be far too expensive. For me, these blasters like this, when they were on clearance, they were like $10, and people bought lots of them. I know I was buying BOOMco clips here just a couple of months ago for $1.43 each. 20 dart clips with, you know, the darts included for $1.43 each. I've bought Rapid Madnesses for $9 on clearance. I've bought Burst Waves for $4 on clearance from Toys R Us. BOOMco's kind of going away, unfortunately. Now, I have enough darts and clips to run this until the end of time, but, I mean, or until something better comes along, which is pretty unlikely at this point, unless somebody steals the whole BOOMco dart idea and has way better marketing. But it's still kind of a shame, and I really hope to see more BOOMco stuff, because when was the last time you saw something this creative and innovative and useful from Nerf? We just get Strife reshells and Strong Arm reshells and Hammer Shot reshells and Rapid Strike reshells. We don't get anything half this cool. Jolt reshells for days. This was innovative, this was interesting, and unfortunately they never really went back to this design. They went back to like the Twisted Spinner, they did the Far Shot a whole lot, but this thing right here was kind of the only one they ever did, and besides, you know, some really cool blasters like the Colossal Blitz that obviously fell on its face because nobody else bought one, even though it was reviewed heavily and praised worthingly, well, unfortunately, it's kind of the end for BOOMco, it looks like, and I hope I'm wrong about that, because I'd love to see more from them. Let me know what you think about the stealth ambush down in the comment boxes below. See, I almost did it again right there, the comment boxes. And then, of course, if you like BOOMco and want to see them, you know, pop back up here, go ahead and hit the like button, and then, of course, there is the dislike button as well, because you can click that because 3 edgy 5 me. I'm Walcom S7, thank you so much for watching this video, and of course I hope to see you in an entirely different one.